So guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the Ian West Network, and let me move this out of the way real fast. Today we're going to review the Roccat Vulcan 2 Mini Air. This is a Turtle Beach keyboard, in case you're wondering. And I love the way this guy looks. It actually has quite a few color options when it comes to the settings. We'll go over that in a moment, the full customization of the keyboard itself. But let's just take a look at this. So you have your USB-C on the top, which also works if you just plug a direct USB-C into this, into the PC. Even if it's off, it'll charge it and allow full functionality, so that's a cool feature. You have your obvious physical power on and off button if you choose to want to reserve battery life for that. And you do have the dongle itself that fits right here, though it's currently connected to my computer. So I'm sure people will understand why I'm not showing you that dongle, but it is a 2.4 USB-A gigahertz dongle right there. And on the back, this is how the information is going to be. And you do have these little, I forget what these things are called, I call them kickstands. So for video purposes, this elevates your keyboard so it's easier for you to actually type. And I can honestly say that so far, this keyboard has been it's had given me a pretty much phenomenal performance, especially with the mechanical keys. I'm not big on keyboards like this initially, but once I purchased this for literally $29.99, I can honestly say that I really do like this keyboard a lot. In addition to that, for the person out there that likes full-blooded customization, you do have the option of pulling these keys off, and it's actually very easy how these keys pop off. Most of them are very replaceable, like so, right here. Very easy to pop off. If you go on to the Turtle Beach website, you can probably find some form of replacement keys, or if you're a keyboard enthusiast, you'll already know that you can find keys to replace this with whatever customizable options that you have. But for the average person, I highly doubt that they care enough to actually do that, so just kind of keep that in mind. I do want to also say that the craftsmanship for this keyboard is really, really nice. I like the way this looks. Granted, this isn't the newest Roccat keyboard that they have out there, but that doesn't really matter at the end of the day. When it comes to keyboards, yes, technology and Bluetooth is important. By the way, it is Bluetooth 5.2 in case you're wondering, but this works well. And again, I don't use it for Bluetooth personally. I normally use it for the actual, what do we call it? 2.4 gigahertz dongle. But what I will say is, in order to put this in Bluetooth, when you hit the function key, I'm going to show you something cool. Watch how they light up. See how everything switched over? The function keys right here actually light up along with whatever customizable keys that you have on the keyboard. We'll go over that in the next section, where it'll actually show you how to change the keys themselves to customize them the way that you want to. But anyway, if you hit the function key and you hit T, that'll automatically put it in the 2.4 gigahertz setting. If you hit function, hold it and hit Y, that's Bluetooth 1. If you hit U, that's Bluetooth 2. And if you hit I, that's Bluetooth 3. Just hold it for like 1 second right here. It'll automatically switch over for you like so. But I'm going to go ahead and switch it back over to the T option, which is it looks like a Wi-Fi symbol, but it's actually the gigahertz symbol in order to use the dongle itself. But like I was saying, the keyboard just works very, very well. One of the things I noticed with mechanical keyboards, and again, this is a review from a guy that just buys stuff that looks nice and kind of just tries it out, it alleviated a lot of the pain I had in my fingers. Like I had a couple light cramping because I do type a lot. And trust me, I don't type like a normal person. To give you an idea of how I type, this is like how I end up typing. And I might just randomly use my other fingers and then place this over here. I don't have any type of typing etiquette whatsoever. So it's nice to know that with all the billions of mistakes I make on a regular basis, these springy keys make it easier for me to just be like, you know what? I don't have to worry about anything. It feels good. Like you can feel the resistance in the keys. And I think that's very important for longevity, because there are too many times we use keyboards simply because they're in front of our face, or someone buys it for us, or we don't take seriously the quality and craftsmanship of what a good keyboard can do overall. Not just the physical aesthetic, but how does it feel against your fingers? All these things do matter. And it works well for me. Actually, it alleviated a lot of the stress that I had right here from my fingers bending. And when you combine it with this guy, which I got this from Five Below in case anyone is actually wondering, it was like $4 or something like that. I actually reviewed this gel armrest right here specifically because I bought it for this keyboard, but there were separate reviews. And I just honestly say it's super, super comfortable. And for a person that can actually type a certain amount of words a minute, obviously, You guys know which keyboards are better for you, but for the average person to find this for 29 bucks at Ross, this would be a hell of a steal if we're being completely honest here. So with that being said, we're going to move over to the next section, which I'm going to show you how the software works, and then we're going to go from there. All right, so for the people out there that actually want to use the software for the keyboard, you're going to download an app called Swarm 2. It will work for the Vulcan 2 Mini Air, as you can see in the background right here. This is the actual keyboard software. So when we click into it, it's going to show you the battery life of your keyboard. It's going to show you that the drivers are up to date, or it's going to let you know if there's an update. Connection, transmitter, I'm using a 2.4 gigahertz. If you're using, 2.4 gigahertz dongle. For the people out there that don't want to use Bluetooth, but if you are connected to Bluetooth, it'll basically let you know. Battery pop-up notifications, this is normally turned off initially, but I turned it on because I do want to know if my battery life is dying or not in order to charge this. Now keep in mind, if you plug in a USB to the keyboard while the keyboard is off, it still will have power and it will work while it's charging, so keep that in mind. Right here, proximity sensor, you have the option to turn this on or off. It's already automatically on lowest the moment you pop up to this application. You have the sleep mode. Well, pretty self-explanatory if you want the keys to fall asleep or not. I have it on none currently. And standby, I have it on none, but normally I believe it's on, I forget the exact setting that it's on, but you have up to 5 minutes when it comes to the standby aspect. But you can customize this completely. Now, if you scroll down, you're going to see these three categories. One is like a keyboard right here where my mouse is. The second one is the actual brightness and just how the keyboard looks and the settings that you can switch it to. We're going to scroll down a little bit. It's going to automatically switch for you. Bam, here we are. And then we have the actual functions of the buttons itself. So first things first, you have FN function, which if you press that, these keys will highlight right here. I showed you earlier in this video. And these are customizable keys when you hit the function button right here, as you can see. And of course, the functions change based on the quick selection that you use. And on the right-hand corner, it says Smart Keys, Timer, Open, Multimedia, Browser, Windows Functions, System and OS, Illumination, Profile. So example is if you tap Illumination, it'll turn it up, turn it down. These are the options that you can change for the functionality. You have the System OS, Hibernate, Reboot, Lock, Log Off, Shut Down, you know, basically hotkeys of how you can change things yourself. And so we're going to go through each one right here for you guys. You can just kind of get an idea of how this looks. Of course, you know, go to the settings yourself and change it the way that you want to. For a person that's versed in keyboards, this is like a dream come true to be able to edit whatever you want. You have the game mode itself, which allows you to actually change all the keys to what you want them to be. So you can remap a lot of these buttons right here. And then certain buttons you actually can remap a little bit more, like the System OS and whatnot, but you'll have to go through that manually in order to change that yourself. And then lastly, we have Easy Shift, which also allows you to shift the keys to whatever it is that you want with the ones that are currently highlighted. And you can just switch it over here to the actual hotkey function. Now, with that being said, we're going to scroll down a little bit lower. And this is where the magic happens. This is the part that I really like right here. So you have a keyboard. Now, currently mine glows similar to like this. You have the AIMO right here. This actually changes the colors of your keyboards. And what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to have a little picture in the corner. If you notice a keyboard just changing its lights, that's me switching to like the color wave and different things. It does take a couple seconds for it to work, just in case you know. It's the heartbeat and certain ones take a little bit more time, like a couple seconds to register. But these are the options that you have for the keyboard itself. And of course, you do have the option for custom. So if you go ahead and click into this arrow right here, and I'll just give you kind of example of what it is I'm talking about. Here we go. You can change the colors right here. You can change how fast, the brightness, number one. You can change how fast the colors cycle through if you want to go ahead and do that. You also have the options for just, you know, whatever you want to do. I'm not going to change and mess up my keyboard right now, personally. But it just goes to show that you do have some different options when it comes to customization with this actual keyboard. And I think that's pretty cool. I think that's what people basically want in their keyboards. They want something that looks nice. They want something that, you know, is going to look good whenever you use your keyboard. And I think this does a really good job of just giving you that full-blooded customization when it comes to the settings itself. And again, I don't have too many keyboards that have this many options when it comes to customization. It's a little new to me, but if you're in the PC world and you buy Turtle Beach or other other brands in general, automatically you're probably used to this level of customization and it's nothing new to you. But for the average viewer, these are the options that you have right here. Now, of course, you also have these little quick settings right here. You have the actual settings itself where the updates are. You can change the language if need be to what you see right here. I don't see anything else available. So, of course, I'm going to keep mine on English. You can also have it where it auto starts to swarm too. You might want to turn that on. The reason being is because if any settings that you change on the keyboard, if you power down your computer and power back on, it's going to automatically load back up and then load your settings also. Now, there is one other thing we need to talk about. Totally forgot to mention this. If we go back up here, right? I'm sorry, to the assignment, you also have the option for profiles. And you can have up to 5 profiles. So what that basically means is, depending on the settings that you choose for the hotkeys, you can save it and have it preset. So for the gamer out there that might game on their keyboard or needs a particular setting when it comes to using FL Studio or whatever you choose to do, it's really up to you. You can save these settings so you don't have to manually do it all the time. And I think that's a pretty cool thing. So with that being said, this keyboard does have full functionality. I do like the fact that the software is pretty easy to understand. Even if you're not a keyboard enthusiast and you go to these options, it's pretty simple to just navigate it. And even if you never decide to download the software, or you just download software strictly to change the colors of the lights, that's fine too. I'm not here to judge you. I don't use hotkeys and all these things. I don't need to really switch them. I'm going to leave the keyboard as is. I just happen to like the way the keyboard looks and how it feels against my fingers because it relieves a lot of tension and stress. Anyway, with that being said, that's this section of the video, the application process itself. Okay, so to kind of answer the question, is this keyboard actually worth the asking price? I like to think that it actually is. Now, I got it for $29.99. That's a no-brainer. If you find this for $29.99, you purchase it. It was at Burlington Coat Factory. There was only 2 in the location that I was at, which was Knife and Market. But if you have other Burlington Coat Factories near you, keep in mind they sell electronics there. And sometimes they have keyboards, sometimes they have Bluetooth, sometimes they have Soundcore products. It really depends on how frequently you visit and more so what their truck is, and basically is the products that they get sent to the store. $29, wonderful. At $89.99, I still like the keyboard a lot. As a person that goes to Micro Center and I buy keyboards and other products, I have bought expensive keyboards, I have bought cheap keyboards, and quite frankly, it's really up to you what you like. I like the fact that this alleviates a lot of pain in my fingers personally because of the mechanical keys compared to some of the keyboards that I use. So I am going to use this myself as my primary keyboard until I, eventually find another deal. And if it happens to be better, then I'll switch over to that one. That's how I shop. I'm a more conscious, money conscious shopper. But even at $89.99, I still think this is a decent keyboard. Though at that price tag, you can wait for Black Friday or you can wait for Cyber Monday or some form of online sale. It happens throughout the year on a regular basis with keyboards, whether you go to your local Best Buy or different things. You can shop around at that price point. That's pretty expensive. At $179, I'm not too sure. To be honest with you, I never bought a keyboard for $179. It just seems like overkill in my opinion. But I'm sure there are people out there in computer enthusiasts that will let you know this is worth this asking price, or in the functionality if it's actually worth it. I think that's a little overpriced, but currently this sits at $89.99 online, and the $29.99 price tag is obvious no-brainer. So with that being said, it's really up to you, the consumer, to decide if you want to pay for this. What I will say is because it has such easy keys to just pop off and they're replaceable, easy to clean and things like that, that the average person is not necessarily going to care about that in regards to the keyboard. But for that enthusiast, you might like that. And if you happen to find this in a Ross and you turn your head just like I did, I'm sorry, not Ross, Burlington Coat Factory, I knew that if I let this keyboard sit there, it was going to be sold. Someone's going to find it. Someone that is well-versed in keyboards will find it and pick it up. And at that price point, you better buy it. Even if it's not for you, buy it for someone else. it's a one hell of a gift, for being honest here. Anyway, like and subscribe like always. This is an awesome keyboard. I like it. I'm going to use it as my primary. And guess what? I'll see you guys in the next video. So anyway, take care. Peace.